Hi everyone, Shane R. Monroe here, and today we're going to hopefully answer your questions about power needs around the Steam Deck, and we're going to talk about power in general, how it's delivered, how you can tell what your devices need. Which one of these work on the Steam Deck? Do any of them work? What about these cables? Will these work on the Steam Deck? All of these questions and more are coming up, so stick around. Okay, so on Reddit, we get the question a lot, will this power brick work? Will this battery work? I've got these cables, will they work? Here's the thing. Power is all about three different things. It's about the source of the power, how it's delivered, and what technology is used to deliver it. So let's start off with the basic concept of what does the Steam Deck need? Now, in order to do that, we're going to use this very handy tool. It's 25, 26 bucks on Amazon. And once you have one of these, you won't know how you lived without it. So we have here our glorious Steam Deck, and it is not 100% full. In fact, you can see the battery's 85%. Great. So it is draining right now. It's got 5 hours and 16 minutes left, providing we're not doing anything with it. And we have right here, I have a power lead coming from the official Steam Deck charger. So this should be everything that you need to play and charge at the same time. So we could plug this in and we'll see that it starts charging. That doesn't really tell us anything though. Just not telling us what this device needs in order to charge and maybe charge and play at the same time. So this little guy is going to be our power meter. So this little power meter plugs in between the device and the power source and gives you a readout, and it's got a little button here, you can flip it around however you like. This device has a little readout saying exactly how much wattage and amperage and voltage this thing requires to do its job. So right now we're sitting around 26 watts, something like that. So right now, essentially, doing absolutely nothing other than charging the battery, it needs about 25, 26 watts. That's what it's drawing, 1.68 amps. Okay, great. So if we actually start a game up though, if I can do this at an angle without losing my mind, if we actually start the game up like Hogwarts, we actually should see the power drain start to increase. And it is. Now we're hitting 30. So essentially what you've probably heard, and this is not inaccurate, is you need a 45 watt charger. You need a 45 watt power delivery system. So right now we're hitting about 38, 39, and you've heard the term 45 a lot, and yet you'll probably never see it hit here. I've put on some pretty healthy games and I've never seen it hit 45. But you need about 40, between 40 and 45 probably, especially if you had a hub plugged in between. Some of that power is going to be chewed in by the hub. So you can see now as the game is loading and doing various things, the power needs are fluctuating. I find it fascinating to know what the deck is up to based on the power it's consuming. So now the game is fully loaded and I'm running about 39 watts. 2.56 amps, right? So, wow, okay. So this thing is definitely drawing some good juice, but remember, it's also charging at the same time. So it's charging the battery while playing. So it needs that 25-ish watts to charge, and that would leave us with about 12 watts of power or so that we're consuming. I don't know if we could actually make that work by looking at the power overlay, but you can't really tell what it's chewing through because it's getting power, right? So it's hard to tell, but you could do some math here and kind of figure out maybe what it's using. All right, so let's start answering the endless questions. Will any of these power bricks work on my Steam Deck? Can I charge and play at the same time? How does that work? I can see this one I had to dig out because it's one of the only old ones that I still have. So what we're worried about, of course, is the wattage, as well as the amps and the voltage, all that stuff. But listen, you don't have to be a mad scientist. All you need is one of these little guys to help you out. I know some of these work and some of these don't work, but there's another piece of the equation. Cables. Damn it, I got all these cables. I got this cable with my phone. It's a Samsung cable. This should be good, right? It'll fast charge my phone. This should be perfect. Should it? Probably, but is it? No. What about this one? You got this with one of your battery packs. Is this going to work out? Is this going to do the job? We'll find out. This one came with my Insignia charger. I know this is my monster beast of a USB-C cable. I know this does the job, but you wouldn't necessarily. So this again is why we have this little dongle that's going to help us decide. So what we really need to do, of course, is to find something that should work. Let's start off with this. So this is a RAVPower. I love these Pioneer power bricks. I've got like 10 of them floating around here, and it does have PD out. So let's go ahead and take a known good cable. We'll plug that cable in. We'll juice up the deck with it. Let's see what happens. Okay, so right now we're in sleepy mode. So we're drawing about 18 watts, 17-ish. So we know that it's charging the battery, but it's in sleep mode, so it's using less. If I were to turn this guy back on, in the middle of playing a game of Hogwarts, first it didn't complain that there was slow charging, which is great. And we can also see that it's drawing about 38 watts-ish. Now, I'm not doing anything, and it just woke up, so it's not loading. There's probably no disk access. So what we have here is, this is good, though. This is what we need. We know that it will do probably at least 40 watts. We know the cable's good. We know this brick is good. This is good to know. So what happens when we don't have something that's good? Like, say, we know that the brick is good, and we know that this cable is good. But what if we take that great Samsung charger cable? Dang it, it charges my phone. This has to work. This has to be great. It's charging my phone fast. It's got to work out. Let's plug it in. And fail. Well, the brick is good, but the cable's not. Oddly enough, you could probably tell this is a USB-A. When you see USB-A, it's not going to do the job, okay? If this battery had nothing more than a USB-A port, forget about it. It doesn't matter if it says quick charge on it or not. It is not adequate. But this does have PD. This cable just sucks. Well, it doesn't suck. It does the job for what it was intended for, but it doesn't do the job of charging the deck or using the deck. So what about this other cable that came with our top-rated AliExpress battery? That one's got to be good. Okay, here we go. Listen, it's USB-C to USB-C. Damn, this should be good. Heck yeah. Came from AliExpress, top-notch quality. I saved a lot of money, so it's got to be good. Okay, so let's plug that in. Let's see what we get. Wow, that completely sucks, right? We're not even getting 1 watt through this cable. I probably dug it out of a box somewhere, and it just doesn't play nice. This cable needs to go to Valhalla. Okay, so we now know we not only need a power source, we need a type of power delivery, we need the right wattage and amperage to come out, and we need the right cable. So now that we know a good cable, when we see it, boop, and we have this device, which has no USB-C, we're not even going to bother testing this because we know it's not going to do the job now. What about this guy? This guy's pretty nondescript. Hey, it does have PD. Let's check it out. And again, sometimes this is the only way to know for sure. Plug it on in. Let's see what we get. Rotate. Oh, man. Okay, so it looked like it met the specs, but it didn't. We got the right cable. We know it's the right cable. We have power delivery, which we also know is right, but it's just not enough juice. This is probably a 15-watt delivery system. And I'm sure if we looked close enough, probably somewhere on the specs here, it would say so, right? This is not going to work for us. Even though we had the right cable and we had the right type of power delivery, it's still not going to do the job for us. So we throw that into the doesn't work pile. I guess now that you've got a good idea what it takes, what does it take to work, let's take a look at one or two other things. This is one of my favorites. I got this fast charger from Samsung. This has got to work. Well, you should already know that the fact that it has a USB-A port on it means this isn't going to do the job. Now, we could go ahead and plug a cable into it, right? Because this is the Samsung cable. We could plug this in and see what happens. But we all know what the answer is going to be, right? We all know what's going to happen at the end of this charade. We'll plug it in anyway, just for fun. Slow charging. And we're getting like 2 watts. Not going to do the trick. So, okay, what have we learned? We've learned that it's not just about the battery. It's not just about the power delivery system. It's also about the cable. So you need all of these things to line up. Now, if that's all you wanted to know about, you can kick off now, but I have some other interesting things that I think would be useful for you to see. So I'm going to put the deck away for a moment. I know I just lost all of my deck viewers. But I think this is interesting. So I also get the question, hey, can I use the Steam Deck's power supply to charge whatever, my phone? Can I use it to charge my phone? Can I use it to charge my headphones? Can I use it to charge some other device? The answer, of course, is power delivery is beautiful because it only delivers what it's asked for. Now, in the old days, remember in the old days you'd plug in the wrong wall adapter and blow up your favorite piece of electronics because there was no regulation going on, right? You had to use the right one for the right job. Now, I guarantee you these latency-free or near latency-free Black Sharks, plug, I'll have a link, yes, to all these things in the description. And yes, I do use affiliate links. Thank you so much for buying through our affiliate links. It helps the channel. These are the best headphones I found for the Steam Deck because they have practically no latency. I guarantee these don't need 45 watts to charge, but let's say I only brought one charger with me, the Steam Deck charger. Can I charge these guys? Yeah, they're charging. There's no smoke coming out. And if you really, of course, wanted to see the proof in the pudding, you got your little power meter, and the power meter tells us what it's delivering right now. 0.34 amps, 5 volts, and it's delivering a pretty constant 1.69 or 1.7 watts. Perfect. That's great. Power delivery really is the greatest thing ever. And it doesn't have to be, it could be anything that uses this power. What about these great hubs, these docks and hubs that we have for the Steam Deck? Can we plug in through here and see what the docks are pulling out of the box? Yeah, we can. There's nothing connected to this thing and it's using practically no power. But what about the official dock? What is it pulling without having anything plugged in? Ooh, it's pulling a bit more. Actually, a good chunk more. What about this Anker 7-in-1 hub that I had a 3D printed case shoved around so that it looks like a dock? What's this guy pulling, if anything? Let's find out. It's actually pulling somewhere between the NuQ and the official dock. Interesting. So these docks have their own power overhead. And yes, we could even plug in the venerable cell phone. Let's take a look at what this is pulling down. Now you know why the cell phone cables and the cell phone adapters don't work for the Steam Deck. This is what my phone says it needs. Now there's no quick charging going on here. As you can see, it's not delivering 3 amps or anything fun like that. But we could take the Samsung charger now and plug it in. Hey, turn on fast charging. Yeah, give me the juice, baby. In any event, as you can see what actual power is being pulled through here now. Pretty cool, honestly. Again, I'm not sure how I lived without one of these little guys because I find it very, very interesting. What about something a little more esoteric? What about this HDMI? What about this HDMI USB-C adapter? This has got to pull some juice too. When it's plugged into something, let's find out because I am curious. All right, so let's try this guy out. I'm going to plug this guy directly into the deck. And I'm going to plug this into my external monitor, which is off camera. Sorry you can't see it. If you've seen my other videos, you'll know. Right? And then I'm going to power this guy on. Let's see what's going on here. Ah, look at this. So not only does it tell us, hey, not only does it tell us how much juice is being used, it also tells us what direction it's going in. So right now, the deck is powering out, and I can move the camera, but I'm not going to. Now you can see that it takes 0.3 watts to power this dongle. So what does this mean? This dongle is draining your battery, your Steam Deck battery. Absolutely true. And you shouldn't be surprised at that. But you may be surprised at actually how much it's actually pulling out. I mean, 0.25 watts is still 0.25 watts when you're worried about battery power. So all of these, everything takes juice. And it's interesting to be able to have a device like this to determine that. Now you know the 3 things you need to know. Adequate power source, adequate power methodology, and adequate power delivery. All 3 of these things are what makes something compatible with the Steam Deck or not. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, subscribe, hit the little bell down there. You guys know what to do. Leave a comment, blah, blah, blah. Of course, the affiliate links help out. We appreciate that too. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Shane Armonroe. Until next time, take care.